Hello, and welcome to Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics A2. Now, this is the first one of the many other videos in this Let's Play, which is kind of special, because what I'm going to do for every now and then, I don't think I'm going to do it between every main mission. Like I said, I'm recording side missions too, and everything else I'm going to be doing. I am literally recording every single video. Now, what I'm going to do for these is pretty much give you a checkup of what allies I want to get, what allies I'm going to get, what allies I already have, and what their potential is going to be, and what I'm trying to do with my units. This is the very first one, so we're going to right into the beginning of the game, right after my Let's Play Part 2, A Paul Full of Feathers, also known as Oh My God Words. Now, let's get started, shall we? Sorry. Ooh, my controls. They're butts. Since these are your starting characters, I'm not going to go into detail on the advanced level units that you'll be able to pretty much their potential, because I feel like all of these, what I'm going to do for them, are pretty basic ones. In fact, I think the only two that aren't going to have jobs that you already know are this one right here, and Luso, of course, because he's a protagonist, so he kind of has to be more useful than the other units. Now, for starters, let's go over and review what the 6 characters I have right now and what I'm going to do with all of them. This isn't really much to make fun of anything. Like I said, this is pretty much all for strategy and to help you guys make this game a little bit more easier and make your units a little bit more better. Okay, Angie, Viera, your white mage. I did not alter any of these jobs here, so these are the ones you start out with. What I'm going to do for her is that there is a job called the Green Mage, which is that spot right there, should be. And what Green Mages do is they cast you an array of buffs, a lot of buffs, and also provide a decent amount of debuffs too to keep her going, just in case everyone's magically buffed and everyone's always healed. Yeah, let me find it. Yay! Like I said, I use this guide pretty much for this charts. I mean, that's really what this is for. Again, I'm literally here to argue everything else about it. Because it's, I mean, honestly, it's completely wrong in, like, many aspects. And which is why I'm pretty much do these, is to help clear up on things, and also to have a lot of fun, and ridicule things. Like Final Fantasy 13. Anyways, okay. The Green Mage knows Protect and Shell, which is your basic increase your defense and magic resistance, which of course is pretty fucking useful, especially later on in the game. Now, you get the Green Mage very early in the game. In fact, it's pretty much one of the first job quests that you'll be able to get on your own. But what makes them so useful is not only their leap ability, which increases the jump and the move values. Leap and yeah, leap. Sorry, no, I thought there was another ability. No, just leap. Which will allow really shitty races and jobs like Bangas, who are really shitty, to be able to have a higher move value and to be able to jump farther up, which in cases of terms of height, and there are a couple rocks and roads and areas where you'll definitely know why leap will be a good ability. Now, what I'm going to do for her is keep her as a green mage throughout the rest of the game, and have her with this white magic as her, oh, excuse me, as her second ability here in place of items. The reason why I'll do this is because the Green Mage has A speed, and their magic stat really actually isn't that bad. And to be honest, what the Green Mage will be useful for her is that she'll be able to buff and heal everyone at the same time while keeping them strong and on the battlefield. While also be able to cast things like Blind, Oil, Sleep, Silence to basically make enemies chill the fuck out. So I highly recommend this because she will become really fast, a really fast green mage, so she'll be able to heal right on the spot when you need it. And that can be, ooh, that can be so useful sometimes. I promise you, if you turn her into a green mage with white magic, you will never regret it. Now know when she's about to level up is to make sure that she stays a green mage, so she can increase her magic and her speed stat. By the way, the green mage and the white mage have the same magic stat value, which, I mean, it really doesn't do anything other than the fact that the green mage just has all in general better stats than the white mage. I mean, the white mage has E attack and she has D attack, and she uses hammers, which is a slightly stronger weapon. Okay, sorry. Next, we go to the really shitty class, but somehow not the worst class. Which is the Bangas. You'll notice that Bangas are here for physical attacks, and that's all what the fuck they do. You'll look at things like the Bishop class, where you'll be like, ooh, that one has a couple of good abilities. You're wrong. Bishops suck. They fucking suck. Trust me. Because not only is their magic point value shit, I mean, their attack is shit, their defense is shit, their speed is shit. That's triple E's. So you really do not want a bishop for anything in your life, ever. Like, I promise you, you really do not. I mean, the only thing that's partially attractive is the arrow and break. And water and arrow and break. Because water and arrow pretty much use the rare elements. And the only other mage that can use those elements as a standard magic attack is sages, so you can basically expose enemies to more elemental weaknesses. But like I said, I mean, their magic, it's just not good enough. I mean, you have better races that are like the Nu Mou that are built to hold against magic. So there's really no point in having a bishop. Anyways, now what we're going to do for Sing, this really weird ass Banga. Now, what you could do is that you could save him and turn him into a white master monk, which is later in the game, but this is earlier in the game right now, and I am going to turn him into a Templar, which, sadly, of course, what is it? Yep, 2 Measured Bishop's abilities, which is that job I just said sucks, which you'll have to jump around every now and then. For those who are new to this game, remember that you'll have to jump around and you'll have to learn abilities of other jobs to get the job you want. Now, I need to start this guy as a white monk. I'm not going to change him right now. I'm going to wait to do that after I finish recording all this. But I'm just letting you know that I have to do 2 white monks, then 2 bishops to get the Templar. Templars I find them to be one of the most useful classes in the Bangas, and I really don't use Bangas a lot, because they can be really good mage killers, and that's the whole point of Templars, is to kill and basically deplete mages and kill Nu Mous, really. I mean, once you fight against really powerful mages, especially when you go into the kings, then you'll definitely need a Templar. They're just all around useful. Or another alternative method could be, since it is the beginning of the game, you could turn him into a Dragoon. But I do not recommend a Dragoon, because at the beginning of the game, they seem like a very useful class. They're very strong, they do all this stuff, they equip spears, which is a very useful weapon. In fact, I think the Templar does too. Yeah. Yep, Templar. Templar also uses spears, by the way. But the Dragoon seems really strong at first, but once you get him in the game and later in the game, he's really not really there for anything special. I mean, the only thing I've noticed that he does that I did is attack, and he's extremely vulnerable for magic and resistance. Extremely vulnerable for magic. He is not built for a mage. It's just, I just would not recommend having a Dragoon for keeping your ally's sake. If you want to, sure, I don't care, do what you want, but I do not recommend a Dragoon. I would get a Templar because they're useful right off the bat, and they will be more useful throughout the game. Trust me on this one. Muggles. Muggles are a very interesting class. Or, sorry, class. They're a very interesting race. Unlike Viera's, which is mostly deals with good ranged anything, they have good ranged physical jobs and good ranged magics. Banga's, which is good for brute force and attacks. Nu Mou's, which is strictly magic, they're pretty much the opposite of Nu Mou's. And Hume's, which prioritize in physical attacks, I think, but they're pretty much all around good. But the reason why they prioritize in physical attacks is because of the dual wield ability, which is much later in the game, but it was a god in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and is a god now. And finally, the two ones that aren't here yet, which you'll also get around midway through the game, which are Sikhs and Griyas, which are both kind of strange physically built. I mean, I feel like the Griyas have the Geomancer, so they're more built for magics than are the Sikhs. But that's just what I've gathered. Muggles are very weird. If you can think of a specialization class, a class that just does really weird shit, then that is a Muggle for you. All of their, pretty much 90% of their jobs are very interesting and only carry special abilities. Now, what I'm going to do for Horwin right here, since thieves are literally useless in A2. In Advanced 1, I always kept one by my side, because you could actually steal weapons, and steal accessories, and steal equipment and stuff. But in this one, you just steal loot, which is really stupid, because sometimes you'll get a really shitty piece of loot that you already have. And by the time you get the knife, which will get you good loot, you already have everything that you can get from that loot. So honestly, it's just a bad class in general. What I'm going to do is turn him into a Muggle Knight. Muggle Knights have A attack and A defense, which seems like, oh, well, that's a classic tank. And that is a classic tank. And the cool part about that is that not many other jobs actually have an A attack and A defense value. Most of them have AB or BA or something similar like that, but this one has double A's, which is always useful. The only problem is that they're not good magic casters, but they also have a B in resistance. A fucking B in resistance, which is very, very, very amazing. Because that just means they're pretty much suited to take on the brunt of damage, and they're going to be as useful as someone like a Banga, which can't do any magics. This one can't cast it, but it can sure as hell take it. It also does a multiple array of things like Astra, which it does. I know what Astra does. Fuck. It makes you immune to debuffs, I think, for like a turn, right? It's a very useful thing. It's coming back to me, because that's later on in the game. And plus it can do things like Moogle Lance, which is ranged. It was kind of like, the Warriors' equivalent, or the Muggles' equivalent of Airrender. That's what it was. But I'm choosing a Muggle Knight, and I'm going to keep him at a Muggle Knight. I don't really like any of the other classes of the Muggles. A Chocobo Knight is debatable, but they're a lot of work. And the guide claims that the Tinker is the best Muggle class, which is really kind of dumb, because Not only that, you have to, they say, oh, well, you know, equip everyone with ribbons and all this extra shit to make you completely immune to all the bad stuff that could possibly happen to you when you use this job. But when it doesn't happen to you, it hits everyone. Or sometimes not even. I mean, it's just really, they expect you to do all this work for a chance, when honestly, it's just dumb. It's seriously dumb. I just cannot stand the Tinker class. Never get it. It's literally useless. I'm not kidding you. It's the useless class in the game. I mean, there's no point in having it. There just isn't. And I'm not going to the Fusilier yet, because that's later in the game. That's like midway through the game. Whatever. Nu Mou's. Oh my god, I'm actually getting tired of talking. Nu Mou's are very intriguing classes. They're all magic. And magic actually is much more potent than physical brute attack force. Because a lot of other people actually use very powerful magics in this game, so it makes sense that you would have a lot of jobs with high resistance. That's just from what I've noticed. Of course, you definitely have your fair share of attackers, but I'm just saying, mages are pretty much the key in this game. Like they were in the other one. Well, no, in A1, I think warriors were just as useful, because they could attack better. Anyways, okay, shut up. I'm shutting up right now. What I'm going to do for her, it thing, I don't even know what to call it. I mean, it's the guide. The game calls it a man, but I swear to God, every time I look at it, I think it's a fucking woman. And it's pretty scary for me to think of a Nu Mou penis. Oh, Nu Mou penis. Just gross. Just look at that. Can you just imagine that having a gender? Because I really don't. Good job, Square Enix. You just look at these and you just think it's a vagina. It has a vagina, but no, it doesn't. Just fuck it, it's just genderless. Calling it an it, if I cannot call it a her by accident. Anyways, it. I'm going to make it an alchemist, which is 2 illusionist abilities, which is like what, 2 white mage and 4 black mages. The thing that makes them an alchemist so useful is that they have a magic, a resistance, and a magic points. That's triple A's right there. And that's pretty damn awesome, if I do say so for myself. Not only that, they have powerful ass magics, and they're just a great class all in general. Now, they have really shitty defense, but then again, like all mages do, they have shitty defense. What I'm going to do with her is keep it. Fuck. I told you, it's gonna be a woman. I'm going to make it is an alchemist with white magic as well. Now we know the Viera also has white magic and green magic, but the thing about this Nu Mou is that it's much more powerful magic than the Viera. So it's going to have much more powerful healing. And to be honest, sometimes having 2 white mages can be more useful in the long run, especially later in the game. And like I said, I'm planning to keep all of these except one, which I'm about to explain. And I think you can guess which one that is by now. But yeah, the alchemist with white magic abilities will be a definitely healing and killing machine. This will be by far one of my best jobs or units in this game once I get thing to that point. Now, the guide states... I'm not even going to say what the guide states as far as saying the alchemist is the best Nu Mou class, because honestly, I don't know what the fuck is the appeal to the Arcanist, being it has shitty magic, shitty resistance, shitty speed, attack, defense, and their abilities require you to go on levels and really stupid stuff. I never found them useful. Like, I seriously did not find Arcanists useful at all. They're just useful. Useless, sorry. Time Mages, though, are also really good. But, ooh, we're going a little far. Like I said, it's the beginning of the game, and I'm talking a lot for all you guys to help strategize. This one This one. You know what I'm going to do with this one? Throw it the fuck out. Why? Because what you'll notice is that once you make a weaker class and transfer it into a tanker class, like say if I turn this into a soldier, it will have a weaker attack value than if I just randomly recruited a soldier right off the bat. Now, pretty much, this has the pretty shittiest attack, and it has the attack value of... Actually, it has a lesser attack value of a black mage. I kid you not. The problem is that the bows have more attack points to give it, but that's the only difference. Like I said, I mean, archers literally suck. Their abilities actually aren't that bad, though, in the beginning of the game, which makes it really disappointing. But like I said, even if you turn it into a hunter at this point, you will get a better guerrilla hunter later on in the game, or midway through, so it's really no point in having this archer if it'll be replaced. Like, it's just useless. So, once I get through a couple quests in the game and I'm able to recruit more Humes, then I will literally throw this away, because it is a shitty class, and the only thing it's good for is that it can have physical ranged value earlier in the game. But like I said, you don't need that much more. So I'm throwing him away, and I'm probably going to get a pure soldier, because thieves are actually on the same level as archers, as thieves also have really shitty attack. And yeah, no, just don't bother. Luso is a very special character, obviously, because he's the protagonist of the fucking game. But the thing you have to consider for this guy is that he's going to stick, and you are going to have to fight with him every now and then. So it's not like you can just assign him a shitty ass job and be done with him. You can't really do that. What I'm going to do probably... I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I mean, I never really know. You can even make him a mage if you want to. I mean, that's always cool too. What you really want to do is that if you really hate the character... Okay, I'll do this every now and then, and I admit things like the Paraveer has a really cool-ass character design, so I'll probably just recruit a couple of the useful and practical, yet really cool-looking units. And the problem is that I love all the character designs of the useful Humes. It's just kind of like... Which one should I make into Luso? I mean, you're earlier in the game. The thing that's weird is that, yeah, while you can't transfer a really shitty attacker like an archer into an attack class, you can turn someone that has a pretty decent attack value, even a shitty attack value, into a mage, and they can still be a pretty kick-ass mage later on in the game. I don't really know what I'm going to do for Luso yet. I mean, it changes every time I play the game, because I'm like, ooh, I'll make him a mage. Ooh, I'll make him an archer. Ooh, I'll make him a Paraveer. Either way, I highly recommend taking advantage of the dual-wielding ability for Humes. But like I said, this is very earlier in the game, and another issue that you'll have to consider with Humes is that you will get a lot of Humes later on in the game that are like special Humes, like Vaughn and... Well, no, Vaughn has a special class. Never mind. You know, you'll just get a lot of fancy little Humes that can learn a lot of fancy other little abilities. And especially one where that is a very, very useful Paraveer. And I love her as a Paraveer. But... Or not a Paraveer, fuck. Paladin. Sorry, Peas. The Peas. Paladin. And... I don't really know what I'm going to do for Lucy yet. Don't bother. I keep him as a soldier for right now. And you could even turn him into a blue mage. Blue mage I have to do for the purpose of this guide. Just in case anyone who wants to have a blue mage, I can show them how. So I think that would be very useful for people who are into blue magics. If you do that, though, that means you will have to get a beast master. But... I wouldn't make Luso a blue mage. They're Their stats are eh. And plus, I came into these weird game errors. Oh, fuck. No, never mind. That was the game errors with the seer. For some reason, I can't dual wield seers. It was very odd, because they're both one hands, and he knew dual wield, but it just wouldn't work. You could very easily dual wield for a blue mage, though. Although, I don't see why you would. I don't know. Like I said, take advantage. I wouldn't... Don't equip anything two-handed. Keep Humes at one-handed. Yeah. Anyways. So that is my strategies, and that is what I'm going to do for the very beginning of the game. I'm going to turn her, the Viera, into a green mage with white magics. I'm going to turn him into a Templar. I'm going to make him a Moogle Knight. I'm going to make it an Alchemist with white magic. And I'm going to throw this into the trash. And I am not going to do anything specific to him yet. I think it's still a little bit earlier in the game to talk about units I'll recruit, because I can pretty much just sit here and talk for hours and hours again about what I would recommend, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm just going to wait and play it out and see what happens, see what units I will recruit first off. I know I'm going to have to recruit a blue mage and a beastmaster first, but I'll probably get a lot of Vieras, because I really love Vieras. They're a very useful class, or race, sorry. I don't know. Anyways, that is my strategy for Final Fantasy Tactics A2 part, at the end of part 2. So, here is what I have. I thank you all for listening. Hopefully this will give you an insight on what you should plan to do for all 6 of your allies. I'm going to continue to go on. Again, if any of you want to see a quest done, it doesn't matter if it's a side quest, sub quest, and of course I have to do a main quest, then just email me at contradictingtheguide@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening. Yep. Thank you all for listening. Have a good day. Be sure to check out for Let's Play Part 3, coming soon. Very, very soon.